what I have always been doing from the start with Via Via. We started with only women. Everybody could choose what they wanted to learn, and everybody had to do something.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Miriam from Instant Karma magazine. Today I'm sitting here in Via restaurant in Sanur, Bali. And next to me are these two lovely banditas, Janti and Mie, the owners of Via restaurant. But Via is not only a restaurant. It came up from a dream from young 68ers when they had in their mind they're going to change the world and doing an impact. And yeah, maybe Mie, you can tell me a little bit of your amazing journey.
It's actually, it's this whole family, between brackets, of course, in Belgium, working on sustainable tourism. And there was this travel agency connected to an NGO, the NGO providing training for tour leaders, volunteering for a travel agency working on sustainable tourism. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the trainers for tour leaders. Yeah. So during a weekend, we were sitting together, all trainers were sitting together, and we were talking about all these ideas of sustainable tourism. I think the UN had just released a definition of what sustainable tourism is right back then. I was having this idea, like, sustainable tourism, it's all about meeting local cultures, learning about local cultures, but also giving back to local cultures. And not just on the surface, but also, really get into contact, not only with your driver and the person at the reception of your hotel, but getting to know people. And it's very hard, especially when you go, even two people, but definitely when you go with small groups, they are very much connecting with each other, but not so much with what is around them. So I had this idea like, okay, what we really need is people in different places where we go who facilitate it for us, who make it possible for us. Mm-hmm. So who can do things for us, meeting up with local enterprises, social enterprises. They can maybe develop alternative tours where we can meet the guides, and the guides preferably being women, because women's voices in tourism are unheard of. And that's how this whole idea of Via started.
Yeah.
And where do tourists and locals need to be? They all need food.
Yeah.
So a place where you serve food can serve as a meeting place between both locals and foreigners and tourists or travelers. And from there, the next step is, okay, when we get them there, we offer them different things.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. In 1995, I went to Jogja and I started the first Via abroad.
And where did you meet each other?
I was introduced to Mie back in 2012, 2013, when I visited as a guest, as a customer to Via. So, I know Via for a long time for actually being offered a position in Via Jogja.
Okay. So since
2012.
2012.
Yes, 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
And what did you do before?
I was in corporate world, mostly 27 years in corporate world, various positions, mostly in human resources and project management.
Amazing. So I prepared some questions.
Yes, sure.
With the rich experiences you have gained in your life, what wisdom would you like to share with young women to unlock their power and strength?
You go. Okay, I go first. For me, it's the there is nothing just impossible as long as you try your best and be present. Be present not only physically, but also it's to be genuine to yourself.
Yeah.
And be able to express yourself truly to yourself. And that's kind of I know it's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Especially in an environment like, for example, in Indonesia in general, but also in Java, and probably in Bali too, whereby you have restrictions in terms of religion, tradition, and culture. But one way or the other, you have to be true to yourself and have the courage to express yourself.
In the end, there is no other way, right?
Yeah, authenticity.
Yeah.
Be authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think an important role in this is education. And I don't mean education in a school or anything, but personal growth and being open for personal growth and education. Yeah. We can pass that on as long as young women are open to learn and to be amazed. I think that's very important. Amazement is the first step of philosophy, they say. But it's also, for me, the first step of learning new things, of being open to the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have limiting beliefs. Their limits is actually their beliefs, what they've been taught, what they've been asked to believe in. But it doesn't mean that you have to change your belief system. But at least you be open in your mind to actually learn that there are more in the world than just what we've learned on a day-to-day life in your surrounding, in your environment.
Growing.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And what I see also, what is very particular to society here in Indonesia, or culture here in Indonesia, lots of women, but also men, they're very often thought to be afraid. They're afraid of ghosts, they're afraid of their parents, they're afraid of politics, they're afraid of all kinds of things. And people who are afraid can't grow. They're the easiest to put the thumb on and to make mouth dead. So it's getting above these fears and getting, let go of the fears and open up. And then you can go in any direction.
Yeah, fear is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
I think we all know that.
Yeah.
And we have to face it.
Yeah.
Amazing. And trailblazers for change. As women in your 50s, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's make it 60.
Yeah. Having witnessed the shifts in women's roles, how actively shape positive change in women empowerment?
Yeah. I think what I have always been doing from the start with Via, we started with only women.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Staff.
yeah, women staff, and it was just all women. Also, the tours we developed, I wanted to have the voice of women. Within tourism, that was really seen as something not done. We often had problems where people say like, oh, these women are for youth, meaning in a negative connotation that we would be sex workers because it wasn't done back then in the 90s, that women were guides.
Yeah.
Or women would work in a cafe or a restaurant. Yes. That was considered women working in a bar.
Yeah.
That's okay, but women working in a restaurant, no, it shouldn't be men. And also what was very important, we were struggling and the women themselves, they saw it and they saw like, this is important, we have to go on through this. And even when we grew, they themselves said, no, let's for now not take men, or let's do it with women. But slowly, of course, we got men in the team. But through having all these women, what I also set up was this program for education. So with our profit, everybody could choose what they wanted to learn. And everybody had to do something. It was really pushed. And through all this, I remember very well the one who was cleaning the place. now has a PhD from Japan. Because I put her on an English course, and then she said, actually, I would like to do civil engineering. What?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, sure. And then we helped her to get into the program. We paid for her. Then she got her SDUA, and then she managed to get into a Japanese university for her PhD.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And was it hard back then to find women to employ?
We have had men come and pull their wives out of the place because they thought it wasn't done to have women working there. But it was we always got new women in. And
Okay.
it wasn't that hard, actually.
So next question, authenticity and self-development. How do you stay true and grow in a world with set expectations for women?
Wow.
That's a big question. That's a big question. But the way I look at it is probably you have to trust the process. To trust the process in yourself and throughout the experience, whatever you're going through, you have to be able to learn the lesson from, like every experience you made. Yes. And then you can learn there what is the common denominator, and basically it's how you react, how you behave constantly, and whether you change, adapt to whatever situation. And that's why I call trust the process, because then you will be more adaptable to different kind of situation, and you learn whether it gives what kind of feedback that you would receive.
Yeah.
Something like that.
From the outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Expectations have changed a lot.
Yeah.
And societal expectations are, through the years, I think they have become even more complex now with, I would say, put aside these phones and this social media for a while and come back to yourself and trust yourself within it. And don't look at all the expectations that are set all around you.
Yeah.
And just find yourself and move from there.
Yeah. Intuition is very important.
Because you have to ask yourself, right, whether this response is according what the society expect from you, or is in this is what I think I would like to do.
Yeah.
Because yes, it has consequences, but then this is what I believe I should do.
And then you are authentic.
Authentic, exactly.
Yes, and that's
Like we said also before, believe in yourself, be authentic, right? That means listen to yourself, and being not perfect is okay.
Yep.
Good. And importance of community and collaboration. How does community and collaboration shape your perspective of women empowerment? What role does this play in your personal narrative?
Well, I think the experience so far, I mean, it's not only personal, but also, since I moved to Jogja, the sense of being part of a community is bigger. You feel like you live in a big village. Most of the circle that I'm in, whenever I'm in Jogja, is to actually work together with makers, crafters, artisans, whatever you may call it. And we actually, not in exchange of financial, but first of all, it's because of need. So, for example, I need some tempeh or I need some vegetables from the farmers, and they also need a place to sell their products. So then probably I can put as part of our market, a weekly market, and also in Via case, we can always buy it from them. So it's a two-way kind of mutual benefits, I should say.
Yeah. Partnerships have always been very important in this whole story of Via, but also in my personal life as a woman. Also as a young woman arriving in Indonesia and setting this thing up on your own, on my own, not knowing that, for example, just a simple example, that there was something like a mafia existing.
Okay.
Naively not knowing that I had to pay them or something, But then it was very good to have a community around me. And the community, I thought, was a mixed community of men and women. But the moments that were crucial, who were there to help me, it was the women, both foreign women and Indonesian women.
Yeah.
Were there to stand by me, to stand together in this kind of thing. So partnerships and communities and this community building, also as an empowerment tool for women, is very, very important.
Yeah.
But building this community within Via Via, already that was just amazing. And that's what we want to do here as well in Sanur. There's all these communities already existing. We don't have to make them ourselves anymore. We just have to reach out and find partners in crime.
Yeah, and typically we do the minute we call ourselves a community, basically we have a common values, we have a shared values, we have the same mission kind of a thing, sustainable growth, mutual benefits, healthy food, you name it. But that's what makes it stronger is when we cultivate. What can we do next? How can we make it more beneficial to each other and also to the rest of the community, the rest of the world, kind of a thing. Yeah.
As a part of global network linking people, cultures, and dreams, how do you envision women empowering communities and creating a more inclusive world?
Yeah, women need to step up. Women need to become leaders, and we have to, in our roles, empower women to become leaders. What we see within Via Via, all the managers of all the different units we have, because we have a guest house, we have an alternative traveling, we have a bakery, we have a fair trade shop, so on. It's women leading it, and it's not that they were educated to become managers. No, they grow and we push them and we help them, and that's what empowers women and linking women, and then we link that to a wider world.
Yeah. So people do grow organically in Via Via. People are very, in Jogja especially, people are very loyal. Our staff are very loyal team. And I think also because of their performance throughout the years, we can see them grow as well. So why not just grow the career as well? If there is any openings, important openings within a company, within different units, we give opportunity within our team also for them to be able to step up and lead something bigger. With something wider, something more exciting, why not? Yeah. Even though in terms of education, people say, oh, she might not be sarjana or that much education. But I think the wisdom and also the values that we share, we can trust the person to start and setting up the business. Yeah.
Via Via vision and sustainable tourism. How does Via Via focus on sustainable tourism contribute to a fair and open world? And what significance does it hold for you as a woman in a leadership world?
Maybe first, what is sustainable tourism? Sustainable tourism is tourism finding a balance on different levels. It's economically, social, culturally, environmentally, and then there is another part is pleasure. So we were talking previously. We're talking about 4 P's: planet, people, profit, and pleasure. We have added 2 P's to it, which is peace and partnerships. For us, that's the core of sustainable tourism, and we strive to get this balance on all these levels. So if we talk economically, that is, okay, we give local people jobs with fair wages, with fair chances of growth, with fair insurance balances and so on. But also when we develop tours, we make sure we give back to the communities, or we develop community-based tours. our tours, for example, on social cultural level, that people are dressed the way they should be dressed, that they learn about what the local culture really entails, not what the government wants the tourists to hear. On pleasure, everything of course has to be pleasurable, because otherwise, a tour for tourists shouldn't be boring, or it has to be pleasurable. Planet, we don't use plastic. We have a proper system of waste management. We work with partners who are working on waste management, on plastic recovery, and so on. Peace, we do a lot of training on which ultimately results into peace management and peace projects. For example, we work together with the UNESCO to set up programs teaching communities in villages around Borobudur to become local guides. But that also means opening up their ideas and their levels of understanding of other cultures. So it's about interculturality. Yeah. And then partnerships. We talked already about partnerships. Partnerships is an ultimate thing, novel piece of sustainable tourism. So even though here it's only a restaurant, the idea is that it's becoming a meeting point where both locals and tourists and travelers come, and that we will develop partnerships with others, and we will develop some tours and some workshops for locals in this place.
And also we have some producers made directly by the crafters and also the makers, the growers. We have, like organic tea. We have cookies made from the local flours, which are giving you gluten-free cookies, some peanut butters from Lombok, which is basically sugar-free. I'm not selling this, but basically I just wanted to let you know that that's how we make it real.
According to the fair trade principles.
Yeah.
So we're not going to bargain.
Yeah. Okay.
And we take within the fair trade, official fair trade principles, you cannot take more than 30% of profit.
Yeah.
We also make sure that part of the profit goes back to education or to local villages or to communities that deserve it. We have worked with partners, for example, with former street girls who are now adult women, making a living of making like these little recycled books, recycled paper and recycled.
It's a journal book.
Journal. Yeah. These ones.
They are amazing.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. It's
They do that.
They make this from the patches of whatever is left behind in dresses or whatever. They can make that as a
Yeah. Okay, show it.
Yeah. And they make it from not only from batik but also from lurik and other recycled papers. Even the papers are also recycled. They're not perfectly white, but that's the whole purpose of it. They can make use of whatever's left behind.
Yeah.
Maybe some drawings, all drawings there, same probably.
And they made in Lombok as well.
And it's one something in Yogyakarta. Yeah. And this has been, whatever has been put here is actually being curated very carefully. We've seen how they make it. We've seen how they, if me told the story about being in Jogja so many years, some of the makers are actually been on the side street. And so they've been able to buy a sewing machine and then make, some journals and all that. So being creative and all that.
So thank you so much, Mie. Thank you so much, Janti.
Thank you.
And where are we going to find Via restaurant in Bali or in Jogja? Right?
Okay.
Have how many?
We have Via all over the world, actually. It's about,
18
spots in the world.
Yeah.
So
So Jogja was the first one abroad. And after that, we got a lot of press in Belgium because the official opening, lots of journalists and radio people and even a TV person from Belgium, they came to Jogja. So we got a lot of press, and then afterwards we got lots of people contacted us that they wanted to do something similar elsewhere in the world. So we have in South America, we have Honduras, Nicaragua, Peru, Chile, Argentina, maybe one more, I don't know. Then in Africa, in Uganda, Benin, Mali, Morocco, Senegal, very important, Senegal. Then we have one in Mongolia, one in Kathmandu in Nepal. And then here in Indonesia, there's now 2, one in Jogja, in Jalan Prawiro. And then one here in Jalan
Kusumasari number 3 in Sanur. And of course in Europe.
And in Europe, in Belgium, there's 3. The very, very first one was in Heverlee, in Belgium.
Yeah.
And then later on Antwerp and Mechelen joined. And now they're building one in Genk. Yeah, that's also in Belgium.
Yes. Okay. And what kind of food we can eat here?
Based on the principle that they also use in Belgium, that we serve world tapas. So tapas from all over the world. We try to make them as authentic as possible. So here we have an Indonesian menu and some spaghetti via via. Everywhere there is spaghetti via via in all the locations. Yeah, all around the world they all have spaghetti via via. But then here we also have an Indonesian menu and tapas, small little dishes, but nicely curated, nicely prepared.
And it's really enough.
Yeah.
I have tried last week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's really good. And ice cream, I saw.
Yes, we just have a vegan ice cream. It's coconut based, but it's a bit different because you can't taste really the coconut, but just as a base, as a gel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as the main ingredients.
Yeah.
But you can't taste it.
Yeah.
Yes, wine and beer.
Beer and ale, coffee.
And then jamu, the traditional jamu drinks, herbal drinks, smoothies, slow pressed juices.
Yeah, I highly recommend Via Via in Sanur. And check out their Instagram, Via Via Bali or Via Via Jogja.
The general website for all the Via Vias is viavia.world.
Yeah.
And I'll be working on a new website right now. Via Via Bali Sanur is linked to our Instagram, but there will be a new website coming especially for this place.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. And see you next time.